Dear friends, subject today is the dodecahedron, which is missing to complete the system. But at first I like to add a short supplement to the spheres and some remarks about the base structure. We constructed the sphere of life by adding a seed of life over every edge of the Planck diamond, and in the center we find a base object. Let's call it baseball. What we can do now is not to add a whole seed of life, but just a single sphere at the edges of area 6. And this leads to the seed of life, in which consciousness also can move in circles or just straight. And if we anchor 4 area 6 platforms with a sphere over every edge, then the base object appears in the shape of a Planck diamond. The base structure should fulfill some requirements. For example, the base object should support a complete space structure. If we dock equilateral tetrahedron to tetrahedron, then this is resulting in a gap which here appears as yellow area. And the same problem is coming up with the dodecahedron space structure, and the icosahedron structure as well shows this gap. What we need is access to all of the space. The big octahedron supports all of the space, but it has 2 different lengths. So at the beginning we then get 2 times length 1 with different values, and this is not compatible. The cube has just 1 length and has no gaps, and additionally all angles have 90 degrees, and the cube supports a perfect coordinate system. So the cube is quite right, and therefore we use this structure as basic space structure. We should be able to anchor and move all platonic solids in the space structure. We got the tetrahedron, the octahedron, and the cube, and still missing is the dodecahedron and the icosahedron. And to anchor the dodecahedron in the cube structure, we need the golden space. We start with the home house, and the one system is supporting the 64 cube structure. Here's the side view. We take away the home house. The 64 cube structure creates a coordinate cross here in orange. Then we create an additional coordinate cross through the points of intersection here in purple. Consciousness creates a new cube structure along the new coordinate cross. This is a simulated spin to the right and to the left. And the simulated spin to the right creates new points of intersection, which divide the edges into these yellow-golden ratios. And now we also can create these golden ratios to the left in a kind of a tic-tac principle. Then we overlap left and right spin, which is giving us the possibility to create new diagonals. And these are creating new golden ratios itself. The view is going into the y-axis, and now we change into the x-axis and repeat this tic-tac principle. It is looking like this. Now we change to the top view into the z-axis, repeat the tic-tac principle, and get a cluster of golden ratios. Here is a perspective view and the side view, and this is the golden space, which is offering important possibilities. Because now we can mark the essential points of intersection, marked here in red. The home house in the center, and the red dots enable us to span a roof over the areas of the home house. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we get our dodecahedron, which is anchored in the cube structure and which is constructed only by using the fundamental tools of consciousness, which is important. Now we got the dodecahedron, but still missing is the isocahedron. To construct the isocahedron, we just create the diagonals in the dodecahedron, and then we get the isocahedron. This is the side view, a top view. Then we take the isocahedron and create the diagonals, and the points of intersection are building the 5-pointed star, which is presenting itself as the most complex structure in relation to the Platonic solids. And it seems that the 5-pointed star has a special meaning because we find it on every flag, on every bag, clothing, and this is probably why the 5-pointed star is slipping into the focus. Now we can build the same construction backwards, the 5-pointed star with the isocahedron in the center, then the diagonals of the dodecahedron, and the anchoring of the dodecahedron in the cube. What a nice picture. We can see that the dodecahedron can be anchored in the space structure. And if we visualize all of the structures which are necessary to construct the dodecahedron, then we see a chaotic structure, like a kind of dark matter, surrounding the object in the outer space, which we can make invisible again by using a finer dimensioning. Finally, we can anchor and move all Platonic solids in the space structure. So that's it for today. I hope this presentation was informative for you. My name is Eric, and I wish you a nice evening.